Welcome back to game night, and so a couple of things. This video, first and foremost, is we're reading your comments, reacting, further discussion, and this is something I've kind of always thought I'd like to do, even on Shadiversity, but time and sometimes those videos wouldn't get viewed as much, and so it affects the algorithm and everything. But game night's a great because it's a roundtable discussion already, and what's better than to have a discussion with you guys to get the reactions of our more, I guess, talkable videos, the videos that get more. And so we're going to try and do this on the videos that get a lot of interaction, basically. And so the one that we'll be doing right now is our roundtable discussion on Loki. I'm going to go through the comments because there's a lot of comments. A couple of things that we need to get out of the way. We can't read essays. And there are some essay comment replies.
Yeah. I saw one that said, "Shad, please read this," and I had to scroll down 2 pages to get to the bottom. Sorry, but he didn't read it.
We only so much time. Unless, like, alright, we'll let YouTube filter as well. We're going to go through the top comments, and then top comments by length will help determine. But if like the top comment is a really long one, we'll probably go through that really long one if there's a heap of replies and interaction on it and everything to talk about. So I wanted to talk about that. There's a couple other general housekeeping items. Nathan's trying some new lighting, specifically Nathan, because if it doesn't work, it's his fault.
Yes. There was a comment that said that this looked dull, so I brought these from home.
On that note, I edited the last video, and yes, I still do editing. You would think hiring 3 guys.
We work 9 to 5.
Well, this week.
I was up until 3 a.m. getting that video.
Shad, when are you not up till 3 a.m?
So I saw the colouring and I knew that it was a bit washed out, but it was going to take too long to render to do the thing, and I just wanted to render quickly and up. And one of the other things I appreciate at game nights is that it's very relaxed. I'm not too hung up on, the light.
Just
so
chill.
I could have done some, color grading and things. But it's like, it's talking. It's not, but we'll try now and then. Nathan is trying something, and so he's got a blue light there and a red light there. I don't know. It's like
it's a bit hard. The space. If I showed you guys, there's not much to put anywhere. There's just swords mostly everywhere.
Yeah.
That's our office space.
So before we get into the Loki comments, there is a fairly consistent comment that's been across all our roundtable discussions people asking, and it is, what are we drinking right here? It's like, they're saying, is it a great type of grape soda? Yes,
basically.
It's a Portello, but this is locally made. This is where we are located in the Gippsland Valley, or Latrobe Valley of Victoria, Australia, and it's called Portino. Their own take on Portello, which is basically, it's a classic Portello drink, and it's delicious.
It's pronounced Portino.
And it's made by AG. And look, you can even see bottled for AG Gippsland, proprietary limited, 2 Eastern Road, Traralgon, Victoria, 3844. It's actually right there.
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored.
But it's delicious.
It's a great drink, and it's a local product. And
happily shout them out.
Definitely. And so,
please sponsor us, though. You don't have to pay us, just send us these.
I wonder, hey. All right. The other thing that I want to also mention is, if you like this content, we would really appreciate your support on Subscribestar or Patreon. Be a big help. We got 3 guys, or technically me as well, and technically another employee that helps. So there's overheads. There's decent overheads we're trying to cover, and things get a bit tight, and so your support would really help us out. And if you want to get, we try and make content, that's the way to say you appreciate it. We appreciate you if you want to support us that way. But if you want to do it another way, you could check out our t-shirts. Nathan has just dropped a new t-shirt on the stick, the almighty stick, if you're familiar with Shadiversity. And I'm actually wearing one of the high quality products that is available through the Shadiversity Teespring store.
What's that, your Damberson or your... Oh,
see this?
Fake chainmail. I thought it was real chainmail.
See this? You might not have known. This is fake chainmail, and it's my chainmail hoodie. I love this thing. This is chainmail hoodie, and it's riveted mail. Really, high detailed print, authentic, and
very strong.
And it's actually really comfortable. This is my favorite hoodie. Like I legitimately wear it, and I've been wearing it so much that it's you know when it starts to get worn like this. It's already, you can tell that I wear it a lot. Like, do you see all the?
No, I don't. It looks great. High quality still.
So yeah, cool shirts on Teespring as well. It'll help support the channel as well, and you get a cool chainmail hoodie maybe, or one of the other things. And we will be trying to make more shirts, so there'll be some game night specifically related ones and other things. So now let's get into it. We're going to read some of the comments, replies to our Loki video, Loki episode 2, and might further the discussion.
Yes. Further discussion.
Do you want to read some of the comments?
Alright, what one should we read first?
Well, top one.
Get off Facebook, Nathan. You're on
Oh.
Facebook.
We'll go top comments.
Top comments.
Alrighty.
The top comment, with 120 likes. Shad can be interrupted, but to do so you must defeat him in combat using hard iron and cold steel. That's why they have their own swords behind them. Why do you think there are 3 people this time?
And that's why he interrupts all the time, because we haven't defeated him with hard steel. We can't do it. He's too good.
Who told him that?
I have been speaking with people on Discord. Sorry, man. But people want to know. They ask me questions.
Yeah, dueling is illegal. We can't let people know that we do. I mean, and
It's okay when Yu-Gi-Oh does it.
Ben is sick. He's not injured by a sword wound.
He'll heal. He'll be fine. But yes, look. Shad loves to talk. He's a talker. It's his skill. He's a writer, a talker, and it's just he talks fast. He moves fast. He swings a sword fast. Too fast for Ben, apparently. We've all learnt to live with it, and we're all talkers here. You know, Ben, he does exactly the same thing that Shad does, just talks slower. So, yeah.
And Oz isn't demonstrating his ability to talk at all either.
I can talk.
You can talk so long.
Shut up, Nathan.
Nathan's not as much of a talker.
No, because... Okay.
He's a listener and reactor, and he likes to make cheeky facial expressions behind people's backs when they're talking.
Yeah. I do talk when I'm by myself in front of a camera all the time, but especially with the roundtables, I do enjoy... What I do is I listen to all the jumble, and I process it. And then I have a few comments after the jumble's done that I can then present. But I'll get better. I'll talk more. I'll interrupt.
It's fine.
When I get fired up.
He's afraid of the dueling that might ensue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, it's not.
Verbal dueling, I destroy anyone at. Even me.
Okay, alright.
Shh.
Next comment.
Alright, the next comment is, I think, a discussion of what is a timeline, universe, alternative reality, and dimension is completely pointless because the writers don't even have any idea either.
You're right and you're wrong. Okay? You're right that I don't think the writers knew about it either, but it's important to have the discussion to show that the writers don't know it by saying this is what generally means when you say timeline, dimension, reality, alternate reality, and to show how drastically just contradictory what their attempt is at it.
Wait, so we shouldn't talk about
We should. I still think we
okay.
should. The commenter is saying he thinks it's relevant because the writers don't know it either. But I think it's, as I said, it is relevant to show that the writers don't know.
Yeah, the writers are dumb.
So one of the more regular kind of comments I've heard people saying, and these would be people who have not watched our first reaction, and that was when saying that, guys, you're taking all the world-building statements from the TVA literally. It's clearly that they're going to be evil or an unreliable narrator, and you can't trust anything. And we acknowledged that in the first episode. Our reaction to the first episode. And what we're doing is that we are reacting to the information we're given to that point. Okay? And at the moment, we are, apart from... Are we given any reason... apart from the TVA being...
Evil.
They look evil... But that could be interpreted because I think there are some people who would think the TVA are justified and they like the way that... And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's from a subjective opinion that what they're doing is evil, and I think there are some people like would legitimately think what they're doing is perfectly fine because it's to save all reality and the sacrifice of people's free will and murdering anyone that goes against what they say is so. But anyway, people are saying that the TVA will be shown to be evil later on in the series, and that they've been lying and certain things. That's a very real possibility. I actually acknowledge that very well might happen. But what we'll be doing with our roundtable discussions is talking about the information we're given up to that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the TVA aren't doing it for all reality. Because think about it. They let 9/11 happen. They let other historical events happen.
No. They didn't let it happen. They wanted it to happen. And if anything happened to prevent it, that would have been a variant. And so you could almost say they're the cause of it. Because, like,
if a dude was late to work on 9/11 day, would they have gotten him and put him in the tower?
It's that bad. It is that bad. This is why I dislike Loki so much, because when you really think about it, you're like, oh my goodness, really? And there was another point I was going to mention about that. But you said such a funny comment that it just derailed.
Now you know how I feel.
So we are given no indication that the sacred timeline is the most natural flow of events. And I think we're actually proven this by Loki being a variant, okay? In what reality would Loki not have picked up the Tesseract that was thrown at his feet?
He has telekinesis, he could have just telekinesis.
No, but in what reality would he have not taken the opportunity to use the Tesseract to get away? It is so against his nature, how could he have not done that, right? But the TVA is saying that was against what they wanted. And that was so what they're essentially saying is that the natural flow of events that would normally transpire if everyone would just revert to their most likely behavior can still go against what they want.
That's why I'm thinking
And then they force things that could very well be against the natural progression of events to go to what they want. And so what if 9/11 would never have happened according to the natural flow of events, and the TVA forced it to happen because that's what they preferred?
9/11?
The TVA do 9/11. That's how bad the world building get, like, with the implications.
Yeah, no, when you just said, like, it clicked that, like, no matter what you do, if you put it near Loki, he's going to pick it up.
Yes!
That's why I think it's a closed loop, the whole TVA situation. Because if he would do it every single time, right? So that's why I'm thinking maybe the TVA literally only exists in this time loop. Do you know what I mean?
You weren't saying that in the last discussion.
I did. You can go back and see in the video I say...
Because if that's the case, then female Loki can't exist if there's one timeline.
No, the TVA could be the bridge that puts them all together, given that they have the technology to do this.
I don't think so. We'll probably... There are some comments to talk because we had such a good discussion about that. But that's such a big issue.
It's broken.
Yeah.
TVA did 9/11. It wasn't... what are they called again?
Yeah. It's not just things following the natural course of events. It's what they want. And we have no idea along the entire stretch of, this timeline, what is a natural flow of events or what is the TVA forcing things by authoritarian, dictation, essentially, the way they want it, which includes all the horrible things that has ever happened in history.
Those absolute dictators.
Very punny. All right, next one.
Yeah.
I'm watching a 1 hour long review of a show I'm not even so interested about. This is the mighty power of Shad.
Oh, thank you, sir.
He is mighty.
With the sword.
We appreciate it. I think that's a compliment to you guys as well, that the discussion is engaging, the back and forth is fun, and that's what we've found. After, we really enjoy making this, and we are thrilled that you guys seem to be really enjoying getting engaged, commenting back and forth and stuff, and so we want to do more. Like what we're doing now, we're doing more.
We're reading comments from you, so leave comments, and there's a small probability we'll read them.
If it becomes one of the top comments.
If it's short and it's at the top comments. It can't be any more than the read me thing, unless it's really funny.
Yeah, or really good, or it gets a lot of interaction.
Yeah, write us some fan fiction about me, I'll read that. When I go through comments, I just hit control.
Did you want to share your favourite comment that you've had on the channel so far? Oz takes the best comments he loves and saves them to Discord, and he really wanted to share this comment with you.
Wait, let me find it. It's under groupies. because I said I put it in the Discord. I said, "Looks like groupies are back on the menu, boys." What did it say? It's a comment from.
Don't out her name.
Oh yeah, okay.
I know it's there in public anyway.
It says this: if this video has shown me anything, it's that I would totally sleep with Oz because him managing to eat all that food and watching him cook was strangely attractive to me. Don't at me. Well, you've just been added. Comments down below. I say that every time. Every time.
It never happens.
One of these days, man. One of the days the YouTube ladies will be real.
As complimentary as that comment was, I have warned Oz to never, ever engage with
And I promise I won't.
bait. Or it's very flattering.
Yes, yes. Thank you for stoking my ego. It needs it.
Alright, next one is, this is why time travel and multiverses are a cancer on storytelling. There's very few pieces of media that can completely use this writing tool. A vast majority of the time, it fundamentally breaks your story into an irreparable mess.
Alright, I partially agree to mostly agree, except for the first one. I think time travel and parallel dimension theory and all that stuff can actually be a really fun plot device to milk to make an engaging story. It's unfortunate a lot of writers don't know how to handle it properly. Loki, prime example, and contradict themselves and make just an utter complete mess. And there's been a lot of complaints against Endgame for that as well. But there are movies that do it right and do it phenomenally. I will give a huge recommendation to the film Predestination.
Yes.
It is amazing. It does. So there are 3 theories of time travel. The paradox theory, which just ends in paradoxes. The parallel reality theory, that when you go back in time and change something, and that's what the MCU is doing. And then there's the immutable theory, which is my favorite, is that you can't change the past. If you were to go into the past, you would just be going into the past to fulfill something that
you already did.
That you already did, and it becomes a complete loop. And that's what Predestination does, and it does it amazingly. It is like the best film that's ever done immutable time travel.
Well, actually, that's the thing, though. It's halfway between, because technically, predestination is a paradox. It's called a predestinational paradox. Mm-hmm. It's a paradox that creates it. It's a
exactly. You don't know how it began. It was just there.
It didn't begin. It was always there.
Yeah. And so you could say it's a paradox. I actually kind of don't think so.
It's called a predestination.
No,
paradox.
because if the past and future exist as one already, and when you look at physics and looks at time is actually can function as a dimension similar to our spatial dimensions, and that the past is actually as physically real as the present. If that's the case, you could have that because it just exists. Like we think time on such a linear perspective because we are trapped on a linear trajectory.
Because we live in causality.
No, we're trapped on a forward-moving trajectory of time.
Yeah.
But if time exists as one, past, present, future, and it just exists, and there's no actual layout where you have to build the timeline through the present, and the future doesn't exist yet, that's where the paradox would exist. But if it exists as one, like past, present, it's there, and you have an unbroken line of causality, you could have that self-fulfilling loop.
Our sentience is just cycling through our lives like trains on a track? Is that what's going on?
Where did you go with that? That's not what I'm talking about.
Never mind.
I was got confused.
People who've seen that show will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? Yes, that's a reference.
No, it's that if you take time out of the equation and still take all of existence into consideration, then every single piece of matter will be seen in a superposition in every place it's ever occupied.
Yeah.
And so our sentience is literally just like it's the needle on the record player, essentially. Mm-hmm. That's just our consciousness. Yeah. And time is just the record.
Yeah, that's a good way of
there you go.
Describing it.
I was actually being very deep.
Wow. Good job.
Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, is that the explanation for all the stupid things you say?
What, me being... No.
You're just... Your intelligence is on a higher level.
When I say something that seems stupid, it's usually a reference, and you guys just haven't seen what I'm referencing.
Yeah,
I think it's called Asperger's, which is a very silly name.
Alright, next comment. They need to define what exactly these terms mean in this context. What does reorganizing the timelines actually mean? Oh, this is
it sounds like some communist...
Oh, is it? We got it. It goes really long, does it?
Well, let's take it point by point. What does reorganize mean? It literally sounds like something a commie would say. No, we're just redistributing. We're just
No,
reorganizing.
but that was one of the sticking points between your theory and my theory. You felt reorganizing was actually keeping other timelines together, where I felt that meant snipping.
No, keeping the snipping. They're snipping the branches, but they're keeping all the timelines.
What about another version of reorganizing that you have these different timelines, right? And their version of reorganizing is like, we like the events in this timeline. We're gonna force that into our perfect one. We like this event in this timeline. We're gonna force that out, and everything else they destroy. It's still reorganizing from other timelines, bringing them together, but only the parts they like.
The separate timelines are happening simultaneously, so they're separate flows. They're separate.
They're just like, not again, not again.
They're separate strings.
The pencil analogy really gave me deja vu.
Really?
But immediately I was like,
Before.
oh, is it too... when did we
It's happening again.
No, it's okay. So there's. Okay.
We don't need to go over what we did in the last
We've
video.
done this already.
But if you got further things, because I have further arguments in my defense, by the way.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
No,
we could just.
you don't want to hear this argument?
Move on with
because
our
this
lives.
came up in the comments as well. So if we get one of those comments that, because people agreed with us, and
I'm
people
just
agreed with me.
I'm just using the words that they gave us. They said all the timelines were merged into one sacred timeline full of different multiverses. That's what they said.
That's more than one timeline, though. If you want to use their words, one timeline.
Since when were
So
PSA propaganda things accurate?
Oh, so now you guys like.
It's unreliable
Look,
narrator.
If it's confirmed in later episodes, I agree, but we need to go off what the information we have currently. And
The information they gave us was multiple timelines merged into one consecutive.
Which means there would be one timeline. If you have another universe with its own progression of events, that's a second timeline!
Disney, please reveal this by the end of the season. Otherwise,
It's.
You can go with me there. Like, another universe.
No, I'm not going to just agree with you.
No, another universe.
Tell you what, you know what? That's a good way to get out of this conversation. Yes, Shad, you're right, 100%.
Go.
You're right, man, and I shouldn't have spoken up. I was wrong the entire time, and I apologise for that, and I should just let my place. I'm using the information they gave us.
Am I not when they say one timeline?
You're being... That's an argument of semantics.
Then your argument is an argument of semantics.
My argument... Sure, just the opposite of yours then. But they said multiple timelines were put into
One
timeline.
So then how can more than one timeline exist if there's one?
It's probably different universes put into one timeline. Again, they've jumbled the jargon they're using. They haven't given us definitions for things.
Yeah.
We will find out, I guess, in future things.
Yeah.
basically...
Well, was that simple all along?
So, in case you didn't know, Oz can get a little engaged, committed to an argument.
When two unstoppable force...
And he hates arguing with me.
Well,
because he doesn't win.
no, not because I don't win. It's because...
I'm being facetious, Oz. Because I know it triggers him. And so what happens is I end up just making arguments to trigger him. And
I can feel a rage burning inside. What's the next comment?
Well, the rest of the comment basically just talks
No,
about
not the rest. We're going
what
to
you
move
guys
on
say.
from that one.
We need a definition.
Oh, we need definitions before we start saying this.
I agree, because if they did define what they meant by reorganising, this argument actually, we would know that I'm right.
No, you know what we should do? Is instead we should just assume that Disney's wrong. We should be like, no, because I don't have their thesaurus, I'll assume they're wrong.
But honestly, I think it's very likely in the show that when Loki now has freedom, he's going to find other timelines that do exist and that he was lied to. That's
But how
very
can other
possible.
timelines exist if there's only one timeline?
Exactly, they would have lied then, but
How
we
can
don't
there
know
be more
that yet.
timelines?
The current discussion is based on the information we have been given. But
Mine was.
Mine was as well!
No, it wasn't.
What?
You're forgetting the fact they said all...
You're forgetting the fact they said one timeline.
Okay, now what did they say before that? One timeline before that? All of them were organised into...
Yeah.
All of them?
One.
I'm sorry for sparking this discussion again.
Move on to the next comment!
Okay. Regarding the politics, I consider myself a classic lefty.
Oh, I really like
and
this
a
comment.
classic feminist, and I fully agree with your political points. There is a faction on the left, a painfully politically powerful faction, who, in trying to fight bigotry, whether it be racism or sexism or whatever, have managed to go full circle to become racism and sexist themselves.
Well,
In my MIO, their policies are not just unproductive in the goal of fighting bigotry, it's actively harmful, so I'm all for calling out the hypocrisy in it.
They're not trying to fight sexism or racism or bigotry. They're trying to achieve power, and that's basically.
It's a multi-layered discussion, this, because that's what they claim, but they end up being bigoted in certain ways.
Exactly. So they're inconsistent.
themselves.
That must not be their drive. Then they just want power. By saying you can't say certain things, you can't say certain things, you can't be certain things.
Well, it you know,
they want to reorganize.
There are
the
actually
races.
quotes that it's about gaining power in many different areas about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but the reason why I like that is that I have family members and close friends who are on the left, and we get along fine. I hate the fact that there's this idea that you have to disassociate yourself with people because if they disagree with you, they're bigots. Like there was a different comment, I guess is outside of game nights, that came on my radar where someone was claiming that because I like Jordan Peterson and that they claimed I cannot, I'm so disappointed because you endorse a bigot. And by the way, he's like a
Jordan Peterson's a hero.
Bigot.
Love that dude.
Wow. But
clean up your room, man. Oh, what a racist. What a Nazi. Oh.
And for the reasons this person was saying that he was a bigot, he would treat that individual person, I know from his character, with huge respect and stuff. And probably more respect than I would based on what they were saying about their assumptions about me and all that stuff. And so, anyway, it annoys me that there is such division like that. That if you disagree, I don't expect everyone to believe in my religion. And that is a core aspect of my identity, okay? My religion. It frames so much of what I do in life, all right? And so if you want to talk about something that impacts identity, yes, religion is a huge one. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I don't expect everyone to acknowledge my religion as true or to use the language that I think is appropriate and stuff. Well,
it's alright, it's really bad.
Thanks for interrupting. I'm saying something really deep and meaningful here, and then
I didn't want to interrupt you. Like, what was that?
But it sounded like you were reacting to what I was saying. You're like, ugh.
I burped. I was trying to do it quietly. I can't win.
I mean, there are like a classic example, right? Being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, okay, you would expect my opinions and feelings towards Jesus Christ to be very, very strong and important, and therefore taking his name in vain is something that I find very offensive. Do I rip on people when they say it in my presence or anything like that? Like, really, you probably don't understand how, especially belittling the role of the Savior stuff, how much that does it, like how much that deeply offends me. But the thing is, I know it's not necessarily coming from a bad place in the sense that to them, they're not doing anything wrong in their mind. Okay, because we don't share the beliefs, and so
don't know what they do.
And so, do I have a right to if I cancelled everyone or disassociated who didn't share my beliefs? It's just that's a path to division and honestly terrible things in the future. And so, anyway, I really appreciate that you watch our content. Thank you for your comment. You're more than welcome here, and I'm sure because most people are fine. You can get along with most people. It's just the extremists. Anyway, next comment.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, extremists can be pretty interesting people if you know how to trigger them.
Yeah, as we know.
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean?
Next
Look
comment.
At this sexist white male. Sorry, man.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I feel like Disney doesn't want the main character to be ruthless and kill people, even though Loki is an established villain from a past MCU film and is the same Loki from the movie. They're rewriting his character like he's a good guy and a detective from out of the blue.
If they wanted good guy Loki, why didn't he just disappear in Endgame,
I guess Disney should just sell off Deadpool then. Based on the first comment.
Well,
what was the
Fox.
first? No, Disney owns Deadpool now.
They own 20th Century Fox.
Well, I mean, he's not exactly killing innocent people.
And they haven't...
He's killing people.
Well, no, my point is though, if they wanted the good guy Loki for this, why didn't they just get him from Infinity War instead?
Because Endgame already wrote them into a box. I think they still could have done it and had Loki relearn, his have a new redemption and make it more interesting. But I get what you're saying, and to me, the reason is Disney doesn't have any balls.
The mouse has no balls.
Yeah, they They hate taking risks now. And that's why they're making remakes of all other properties and stuff like that, because, and I think it's because their expenditures have gotten so high that but they've been still losing heaps of money anyway. They've been losing heaps of money mainly due to COVID and the fact they had to shut down a lot of things.
And just with that as well, Shad, they haven't made a new Deadpool movie since Disney bought out 20th Century Fox.
They said they'll keep it R-rated, and so...
But they haven't...
Yeah, nothing.
They haven't done anything. No Wolverine, no nothing.
They might have started certain production things. I have no idea. I haven't read up.
Who's the actor that plays Deadpool?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds.
No, Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Gosling. Although, hey, that'd be an interesting movie. Ryan Gosling is Deadpool. He wouldn't say a word, would he? Because that guy never talks.
Because, I think he said that he has a script for the further one, but they haven't greenlit it yet.
They got rid of the guy who did the first one because he wanted the second one to be more emotional. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, Disney... I don't get very emotional about things, but Disney does frustrate me, because when you talked about them not taking risks, I thought of LucasArts and the games, and the first thing they did when they bought Star Wars was close the game studio. Which... Yeah. Okay, next comment.
Disney, no, I'm on board. Like, Disney's getting worse and worse, and they've been doing terrible things, and the stuff that people don't even know about. Like, Disney's been buying up all these other properties, and the people who have written book deals for the other properties, the other things when Disney now owns the company that had those contracts, they've not been honouring the contracts and paying royalties to the author. So I think there's an author who wrote an Aliens book or something like that. I might be getting the things wrong, but Disney bought the company that owned that, and they have literally just been shafting and not fulfilling contracts. And they said they were not required to honour the contracts that were established with these other companies. It is so illegal, and it's and Disney is just
They shouldn't be called a mouse. They should be called the rat.
It's getting like that. It's despicable. And I was actually kind of happy when Disney first bought Marvel. This is back before the dark times, before the Empire. Anyway, we'll keep moving.
No, good reference. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we should do a video just on Disney, I think, and rant it out.
Like, all the crap they're doing, it's horrible. Like, Disney is an immoral company at the moment. Like a fully immoral, which means evil, company. They're doing terrible things.
That's what immoral means?
Oh, yeah.
Disney Plus, more like Disney minus ethics. Alright, next comment.
Alright, next
Forget
comment.
what I just said.
You guys are putting in more effort than the writers did.
Yep.
Seems like that. But you know what's even worse? I bet they brainstormed this for like a month, and they thought they were so big-brained, and it's like, it's perfect, we got it, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
And this is what we got.
And then one of the geniuses in the back was like, hey, let's add a moment where a female kicks some ass. Yeah! Good one!
That's never happened in a movie
It's
before.
super progressive.
Like, a female has never kicked butt in any movie before. In fact, we'll make a female action lead, and there's never been a female action lead in any movie ever before.
Stick it to the patriarchy. Yeah! Woohoo!
And you have this whole, like, host of female action hero in movies and legends, like, just wondering, what?
Yep. Don't worry, she's got help. Remember that one from Endgame? All of the female heroes just magically got together at one time.
I love female action heroes. Like, you know, the classic ones.
Ripley.
Alita, one of the best ones of recent memory is Alita.
That was a good
Battle
one.
Angel. Absolutely phenomenal, right? And so, don't come at me and say, if anyone says that we hate, like, female action, it is not that. And as I said in the previous video, female Loki could have worked brilliantly. Gender bending's been done in comics ages. Anyway, we'll keep moving on.
You've got another essay.
Alright, we have to.
Okay. I like diversity, but the massive honesty here on this channel is simply breathtaking.
Well, thank you.
You're breathtaking!
You're
all breathtaking!
So, it's one of the advantages of starting a new channel, where by starting a channel, we can set what the new tone is. Shadiversity, I've always avoided politics, and I will in the future, and things. And that's what it is, and I'm mindful of the audience that exists over there. I subscribe to the thought that people subscribe for the type of content that exists. And when you start giving them content that they didn't subscribe for, like political hot takes, stuff like that, I get really annoyed when celebrities start mouthing off politically and things like that. It's like, that's not what I'm watching you for. And so I avoid that in Shadiversity because that's what people aren't subscribing that for. But with game nights, we're setting a new tone. This is something different. And people can be, we're more open, we're more edgy. And I think it's very appropriate for game nights, because knights use swords, and swords have edges. And
where's the axe?
We're more edgy on game nights.
Let me get the axe.
It's like, guys, it's...
I get what you're saying about, like, you know, what were you saying? Annoyed by
celebrities mouthing off.
Yeah, what really annoys me is when you get someone a drink from the shops and they don't drink it. Don't you hate it when people do that?
I've been drinking. I've been sipping and enjoying. See this?
It's not wine, Shad. Yeah, now I have the axe.
Oh, I breathe down the wrong pipe.
See, Oz, this is what happens when you push Shad.
You heard it here first.
Sorry.
Folks. Shad took it in the wrong hole.
You're awful.
Oh.
Next comment, please.
Okay.
Hey, I wasn't finished.
Okay. No,
I was going on thinking like about game nights. Clearly has a new like a different tone to Shadiversity where I'm happy to push the line because we're building a new audience. I'm not going to risk the previous audience or things like that. And people who are on board and they like it, they'll be the ones sticking around. And they're the ones that will also attract it. And I'm happy with it. I'm fine. And it also does give me an outlet as well.
Okay. Regardless of who was right about the secret timeline at this round table, okay, it's a short one. I think it's fair to say that the three of you have put in more thought and more issue than the writers.
I thank you. And my response again is the same as like, I'm worried if we didn't, and the writers could be that inept that they spent months on this, and this is still what we got. Next comment.
When they were at Pompeii, I was sure that Loki would pretend to be an angry god and being the one responsible for the eruption, so people would have to worship him for the 5 seconds he was there.
That would have been
It would have been more in line with Loki.
more interesting too.
Yeah, more interesting.
You would have got a good ego boost out of that. I think I would too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Quote from... Okay, this is Oz speaking, saying, "Whatever you want to call me." And then our commenter, he says, "Okay, Oz, the barrel gnome it is."
There it is, barrel gnome.
The barrel gnome. It's appropriate. I think it fits.
I'd rather be called... Who's the Diogenes? Call me Diogenes. Diogenes?
Diogenes.
Diogenes, thank you, that's better. Did you know Diogenes, the famous guy who was a
Greek philosopher
who likes to piss on people and throw dead animals and crap at people who he didn't like? That's exactly what I do. And I was in a barrel that time.
And he was in a barrel.
It smelled like wine in there.
It still does.
It still does.
In the comics, Loki beheaded Sif, the black chick.
Sif's not black.
She's not black. The black-haired chick, you mean? Lady Sif? Raven-haired? She was throwing lovey eyes.
You're thinking of Valkyrie, you racist.
Guys, I'm bad with names. Like,
this means you're bad with faces as well.
yeah.
They're a completely different colour.
Sorry, guys. Jeez. This is why I stay quiet. Because once I make a mistake,
Any tiny slip up, he knows that we're gonna jump. But that's what we do to each other.
yeah. Okay, in the comics, beheaded Sif, stole her body, and became what the Marvel comic fandoms call female Loki for a while. I don't know if this has anything to do with the show's version, but like, yeah, the comics have done way weirder.
Wait, Marvel Comics had a different version of Loki?
Oh, heaps.
Oh.
There are reboots as well and things. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, like, you know, gender bending. Like I said last time, I've been doing in comics for ages. It's how it's executed, and especially if they're trying to send an overt message or undertone with it. This is the superior you.
I could tell you why it's not actually the way you think it is, even though with the information you have now it is, right? But with the information I have, it's not.
Okay.
Because that isn't the Loki, and that's not Loki.
Well, that's what people have been saying, is that they think it could be Enchantress.
Yeah, and the real Loki is the dude who was in the last Star Wars movie, who's the bad officer dude. He's an older Loki. And that Enchantress is his daughter.
Star Wars crossover.
No, it's no. That actor is playing this older Loki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, jeez. What? That'd be pretty cool though. Star Wars Marvel crossover. Anyway, yeah. So that's the thing.
Possibly.
Spoiler alert, guys.
You know, it doesn't take away all the subversive messaging about superior Loki and things.
Well, it does if
not from the context of that episode and the build.
If this lady isn't Loki, and it's Enchantress, not Loki, then that's not the superior version of Loki. That's just his daughter. The superior version will be the dude.
Well, we'll see. But I'm saying in the context of that episode, if you
sure.
with the information that you got.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next comment. I need you guys to explain to me because I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
Actually.
Is it actually? I do not blame anyone for actually. I say it all the time. I think it's like, actually. I'm an actually. Good on you for being an actually. I love that we have one in the comments.
No, you're an all right.
All
right.
All right. Okay. And also and stuff like that.
And just like as well.
And like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me too, I guess. Like's one I do as well.
You know, I cut all those out.
That must take a long time.
Anyway, okay. Actually, that point about Loki surviving the beatdown from Hulk is a very good bit of defensive power scaling. I think a generic trucker would break his hands punching that Loki long before he made Loki flinch.
You're absolutely right. As top comment. Yes. The amount that Loki was able to resist from Hulk meant that even something half the strength of Hulk wouldn't hurt Loki now. And that's still insanely powerful. And so a regular trucker... it was like, I read some of the replies to that one saying, it's about momentum or something like that. Even if you could knock him off his balance, you're not going to hurt him.
Let me explain the physics of you to this god fighting a mortal.
Alright, I guess next comment.
Next comment.
I always forget that it is not summer where Shad lives. Just looking at him makes me sweat.
Dude, it's never summer here. Not in Victoria.
You have different top comments to me. That's a bit weird.
Do I?
Yeah,
I'm in the...
no, I got that. I just want to see... Interrupted. They're just in different order.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going
You may
through
continue.
Cool.
One does not simply walk into Victoria. The very air you breathe is a moisturous fume. There are cows here that do not sleep.
That's an internal joke.
And the Victoria police are ever watchful.
Next comment.
Is it possible that the reason Loki is acting out of character even in private is because he isn't sure if he's even in private?
Yeah,
and
it's
not
possible. I do not think the writers are that clever.
No, they do.
I'd love it if they are that.
But when he got processed, they gave him a list of everything he'd ever said.
Yeah, I know. So
he's being watched at all times.
He is, effectively, and he should also be able to ensure that from the recording, like the recording of his life, and stuff. So maybe I would love it if that's the case, because the writers did a smart. But at the moment, I don't think I don't have that much faith. I want to be wrong in it. I do want to be wrong. I'd rather a good show than a bad show.
What if TVA is just like future Facebook? You know, it's like, here's a list of everything you've ever said, every thought you've ever had.
Next comment.
Shad does not hold back on this channel. I like it.
I'm glad you like it. There's some people who don't, but I'm interested. I think there are people unsubscribing from even Shadiversity because, I'm a conservative.
Okay, Nixon.
And I find that so bigoted that you can't even, watch someone's content who has a different political leaning to you. Because if that's the case, I just would not watch anything. Do you realize most actors are on the opposite political side to me? So are you saying that I should cancel my support? And there are YouTubers I watch, stuff like that. Like, if that's your standard, you literally are trying to push for a massively divided society.
And they are, though.
They are. And do they realise what, what the ultimate outcome of that is? It is civil
No,
war. Like
they
that's
don't know.
if they push for such division again and again and again, that's where the ultimate, or it's a secession or something like that, and it's not peaceful. It's not happy good times.
These people don't think about the consequences of what they do.
And so, like, one thing is though, it seems to be fine. It's a balance because Game Nights is only just starting out, and so even fewer people from Shadowversity are coming over to Game Nights because smaller channel, different interests, different content. So it's perfectly fine. And out of the people that then just like Game Nights and then see some of my stronger hot takes and then decide I will never watch anything from Shad again, is still far less than the growth that Shadowversity is still getting. And so, you know,
I don't mind losing one or two here or there.
I do mind. I believe it or not, I hate it when a creator does something that they know things aren't going to like, and they say, and if you unsubscribe, good. It's just cleaning out the unwanted. It's like,
to be fair,
that plays into the philosophy I was talking about before about divisions. Like, no, people who disagree with me are always welcome to watch my content no matter what, and you're welcome to stay. If you want to leave, that's your choice. I think you will be missing out. You're harming yourself. Will I lose sleep over it? Well, not really, no. But it's not to say I want them to leave. I would like as many people as possible to watch my content.
I take back what I said there.
See?
But if you do and leave, no one's going to stop you. We'll say farewell. We'll miss you.
But I'm not going to change myself because of people's disapproval. That's like me expecting you to change because I have different views. Would you change because I disapprove of you? Like literally, there was this one comment saying, "I'm so disappointed in you, Shad." Like their opinion of me should cause me to change fundamental beliefs I have that come from such core parts to my identity, my own religion and things. It's like, oh, yes, of course. Your outrage of my own core beliefs is clearly enough to change.
If not for a single subscriber lost, I would have been complete. No, it doesn't work like that. Sorry, guys. Next comment.
I was making sure that was it.
Man, these comment replies, we even get more edgy.
More political and edgy.
But because it's the comments, it's a snowball effect. We react to the stuff in the show, people react to our reaction, and they're more explicit, and then we're reacting to their, and as a result more explicit again.
We're going to be the ones to start the civil war.
But no, we're not. I don't think we're being divisive in the sense. We are being divisive in the sense that we're voicing different opinions, but we're not saying go away and that we hate you who disagree with us. Like, no, and we'd never say that. I would never say that. I don't know about others.
I actually love arguments, right? I do love arguments. They're fun.
I enjoy them too.
Yeah.
I got into a good one with my mum yesterday.
Oh no, Shad's not getting his allowance this week.
Oh,
what happened?
I won't go into it.
Okay.
But the thing is, though,
tell me later.
Mum doesn't like arguing, but I love it.
I love it too.
And she gets really frustrated because she has trouble winning. Yeah. I usually have some good backups for my things, and it gets to a point where she just gets tired of the argument. I'm ready to go. I'll go forever. And anyway.
Arguing is the most fun you can have without drawing blood.
I don't know. So Oz doesn't enjoy arguing with me.
I do. Even when I get angry.
You get so angry, man.
I know, I love it. Anger feels good.
Ask Nathan, he was there.
For which one? There's been so many.
Oh, I was holding that in for a while. Okay, next comment.
Wow, that was a jump off that. That was a segue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there a moment when telekinesis could save Loki in the MCU? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that would have been really useful in one episode to grab the Tesseract before the TVA does in the desert with some kind of magical distance grabbing power.
Totally, absolutely. Turns out that there might be hints at it, like when in the Dark World he's in the prison and he like pushes everything away. To me, I always took that as a wave of power, not necessarily
fart.
I just thought energy. But not actually picking things up with your mind and pulling them to you. And to my knowledge, he hasn't had that level. But yeah, like that whole scene, Loki his powers aren't there, you know.
But at the same time, right, the beginning of Avengers, first
one. Like, there's a way you could describe it. in that scene that Loki expected these TVA to not be able to affect him at all, and he was just going to let them hit. You know when a superhero thinks they're so invulnerable? Yeah, waiting for a reaction to your last comment, eh?
What? The fart thing? No. I was just going to say he could have used throwing knives, he could have stabbed them, he could have done literally anything.
But alright, remember, there are scenes in superheroes where they think they're so invincible when they come across petty criminals and they let the criminal get a hit in to show how powerless they are. Superman does it all the time. Yeah, I'll let you shoot me, and then they shoot him. It's like, you want to try it again? Maybe, this is me trying to, play defense. Maybe Loki thought about it as like, yeah, you can try it, but you're not going to do anything, thinking you're so tough, and then they have like the magic wacky sticks.
Now, see, you do that for the TVA, but you don't do it for the timelines.
Because you're doing it for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
But the reason why it still doesn't work is that he doesn't acknowledge his surprise or anything like that, or that it's the sticks, that thing that or anything, and
maybe the Black Lady's just shit.
Because in the next encounter, a simple line would explain this. It's like, I underestimated you before because you're clearly just human. I won't do it again. That would have solved it. That would explain why Loki didn't use any number of all his powers that could have saved him from getting captured. But because he doesn't do that, anyway.
Next comment.
Yep.
Prediction. If they think they can replace Hiddleston, because he's too expensive, his female counterpart will demand the same salary, and Disney is going to have a hell of a time trying to say no.
Well, how do we know they're doing that, though?
We'll find out. It's the expectation. That's one of the theories that the female one. That was one of my theories, that the female one will replace him.
I don't think so.
One of the comments said, I haven't verified this at all, that he's stepping out after this. This is his last time doing Loki.
I hope not. I like him as Loki.
I would actually think he's been around for a while, that you don't want the same villain forever. And so I would be okay with a reinvention of his character. Sure. Even if it was a female character. I was like, change things up a bit. I wouldn't object either if he sticks around, but he had such a... If he really sticks around, it undermines his heroic sacrifice. That was a good ending.
It wasn't much of a sacrifice, was it?
He tried to, kill
Thanos.
Thanos.
Failed miserably, really pathetically. He got choked out like a...
No, but it was his redemption arc where he actually, tried to help Thor instead of... Cause usually it was a double twist, because usually he always sides with and then he doubles the double betrayal, and
he could have done 1,000 different things better rather than go for a really obvious stab and get choked out like a bitch. He's the god of mischief. He could have created a clone of himself, snuck around the back. He could have done 1,000 different things.
Anyway,
the Tesseract, he could have teleported away and gotten help.
Still, I think it had a redemptive element to his whole arc, sacrificing himself for Thor and things, and so if he just comes back, but anyway, we'll see, and your comment is funny, because I do believe people should be paid what they're worth, and if there is a new Loki, if it's male or female, if audiences aren't enjoying him as much, why should they get paid the same amount?
Surely they wouldn't give him a TV show just to get rid of him. They would have just ended on Thingo. If they wanted to get rid of him. And keep in mind, they plan these things like 5 years in advance.
Maybe. I'm open, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he steps out.
Yeah. Next comment.
No, okay. Wait, did you have anything you want to share?
No, I'm just...
See, he's fine.
Contracts are interesting.
Really?
And I always think about them. Well, because... That's another topic I won't get into, because we've done that a lot in this episode. But... It'd be interesting to read up on his contract.
Oh, the Disney contracts would be the most horrible things ever. Down to you must maintain the way you look and appear, to what you say in public. And
you must not eat a carb.
It's basically giving away your freedom. It would be the worst ever.
But it's for millions of dollars. It's indentured servitude for a period of time for millions of dollars.
Yeah, I know. To me, that's not worth it, but I guess for a lot of actors it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on...
And Joe Rogan did it for $100 million.
Okay, next comment. I love both this channel and Shadowversity.
We love you. Thank you.
I think we should just be friends.
Alright, next comment is, I wouldn't really see any statements by the TVA as the actual world building. They're more like an untrustworthy narrator.
Yeah, I completely acknowledge that. We said that in the first episode of our reaction, but as I already explained, we will be discussing the videos based on the information received up to that point. Cool.
So yes and no from Shad.
Next one is Loki pinning after...
Pining.
Yes, there's only one end. After other characters, like a lost puppy, lets people insult him, lets people boss him around. The real Loki sent to kill a robot after his brother who lost his powers, stabbed his brother after getting him to lower our defenses with sympathy.
And killed a man in cold blood.
Stabbed his brother after getting him to lower his defenses.
He's killed many people in cold blood.
Yeah,
and it was only a few days before
you're
this
absolutely,
was to take place.
You're absolutely right. The flip in Loki's behaviour is pathetic and makes him come off so...
That's why they should have
And
gone
that's a
from
good
Infinity
way, that's a
War.
good way to describe his pining after characters. Let me do this. When he had so much balls and pride. One of the things about Loki is pride, and people are saying he would be willing to go through, being belittled and stuff like that. Like in other movies, you see him passed off and belittled and everything. You could see the resentment he was holding, and he never submitted to it. He just kind of went along with he let it continue, but he didn't submit to it or play along like it was true because he was too arrogant to do that, and he had a plan to subvert the whole thing afterwards and show everyone what
Just
for.
like me.
Anyway.
Next comment is, I have no interest in the MCU whatsoever, but I'm watching these. Shad and Co are the best.
We appreciate that.
I think they meant to say Oz and Co.
Yeah, it looks like they must have spelled that wrong. Next one is, in what messed up timeline Loki would go unsupervised for a seconds in the 2050 store and not create a duplicate of himself to explore around safely while he's sitting in a corner eating popcorn. Moreover, when he knows that there is an alternate killer Loki there.
That would be the smart thing to do. You, sir, are smart and clever, of course. Well, actually, should we call someone smart and clever for realizing something obvious?
Yes. Or you could say no S.
I do admit there are levels of stupidity that I'm seeing in the modern day that is forcing me to reframe my standard of intelligence.
Common sense ain't that common.
And so it's becoming common sense is the new big brain.
Big brain. Yep.
All right. Next one is, another thing this show breaks. How did Doctor Strange see all of those different timelines in Infinity War if there's only one possible timeline?
Because there was 4,605,000?
I think the answer that defenders would say is that he was seeing probabilities. They weren't actual timelines. They were projected probabilities. And I'm not saying that necessarily answers it because, he's using the time stone, and the time stone, because it looked like he was looking into the future, but anyway.
Who knows?
Next comment. Why are you guys sitting around talking when you should be busy rescuing Sir Ben from Raid Shadland's goons?
He's already dead. Oh, no, he's not. We keep him alive in our hearts.
Well, no,
Look at his face.
The answer is we are making Raid Shadlands, okay? And he is not needing rescue from his current position. He is serving a very fulfilling purpose for the greater good.
The Gestapo, that's pretty spicy there, Shad.
I didn't say that.
You're saying the Gestapo made Raid Shadow Legends?
Yeah, I never said that.
Dude,
I want
that timeline.
Ben is fine, and he loves what he is doing.
You can use all your favorite heroes, like the Luftwaffe.
And Raid Shadlands is the greatest, bestest game ever.
Yes. Use coupon code Save Ben's Life to save Ben's life.
Alright, so maybe go through and find some comments that you particularly like. I said out to you now, Nathan.
Oh, this next one.
Okay.
Why does Shad look like a fusion of his right and left shoulder angels? Because Oz is there in red, and I'm here in a more. So it's like the.
I
good,
think what he
bad-
meant is this, and well, I'm squeezing my belly now, and you and your glasses. I think that's what they meant by fusion.
I'm offended. Say I look like anything like these misshapen goons.
Now, when you say it with him, we know you're being disingenuous, right? But then he points at me, and that's where the hesitation comes from. I can take a joke, guys. Jeez. I can take a joke. Hate this place. Next comment, please.
Okay, let me find one that isn't about the timelines that we already talked about.
Oh, not the timelines again.
Comments that are saying I'm right or Oz is right and stuff.
Yeah,
But
one's where I'm right.
I'm right.
Read those ones.
Okay. I agree with Oz's interpretation of the sacred timeline being an all-encompassing thing of all the multiverses timelines.
All the timelines?
Oh boy, this
Is that a plural? When they have said multiple times there is one sacred timeline. Singular. Anyway, sorry.
It's a long one. So
Oh, don't pick an essay.
I didn't know. Okay.
Wait, it's a
okay.
It's a long one.
This isn't one I liked
what she said.
personally. I love how Nath sees them going in circles and just face palms, but lets them go on anyways.
Why do you like that one, Nathan?
Because they mentioned me.
See, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. More timelines.
Just a comment where someone
Oh.
spelled your name like Nahayton.
Yeah, Nath. N-A-T-H.
No, it was like Nahayton. It was like
Oh.
Neyheton.
I had such an impulse to slap you then. I have no idea why.
Dude,
I like envisioned in my head.
I feel the same way.
I envisioned the whole whoosh and a slow.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Maybe it's because I kept talking when he was trying to go on. You see, it's really annoying when someone keeps talking when you're trying to get a little thing in.
Oz just has one of those slappable faces.
What are you talking about? No, I don't. And it's not Oz anymore. It's Barrel Gnome.
Alright, someone's informed us that 5D chess is an actual thing. Look it up. It's
Yeah,
real
you
game.
were wrong.
What?
Chess is played on a 2D plane. It's like
3D pieces.
with 3D pieces, but the
But
game is on a 2D plane. It's a 2D
No,
chess game.
It's 2D
No,
chess.
It's 2D chess. Star Trek is 3D chess.
It's on a it's
No,
3D chess.
3D chess is different to normal chess. It's actually a specific thing. Look up. Do you want me to
You
look
say
up?
it's played. If it was
Oh, yeah.
played on a 2D.
5D chess exists.
If it was played on a 2D thing, it'll be on a flat piece of paper. But the fact that you
No,
pick the pieces up, over, and move them means 3D.
No.
Yes.
No. Because the pieces move in 2 dimensions.
No, they don't, because you pick them up and move them.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to the game. You can play
Sorry,
a chess
Oz,
game.
doesn't
but
matter
it's-
the game isn't sentient, we are.
Oz, I have looked up 3D chess, and look, it's different to normal chess. It's 3D chess from Star Trek. 3D chess, not normal chess. You're wrong. Feel it in your soul.
You can't believe everything you read on the internet.
You are wrong, Oz.
I'm technically right. Just like you're wrong, and I'm technically right.
Embrace it, embrace it. It's good. It's good for your soul. You can say it. You can look at the camera, and say, I was wrong.
They're both wrong, and I'm right.
You can do no, it's serious. It's good, Oz. Do it. You can.
Because it's a 3D plane, technically.
No, it's you know.
It is.
He's dying on the inside.
I'm not dying on the inside. It's a 3D plane because you pick it up. And
No. So, if you want to buy a 3D game of
Everything
chess,
that we interact with in this world is 3D. Every single thing.
that's not the title. If you want to buy 3D chess, will you get a regular chessboard, Oz?
Is a Spy Kids 4D movie really 4D?
Oz? Yeah.
No, it's not, because it has...
If it sprays water on you, it's 4D.
Sure, what's in the movie, it's fine.
What dimensions do the pieces move along? How many dimensions?
3.
So they move up in a normal game of 3D chess.
Yes, you pick it up. You get Castle Kingside.
I can't tell. Oh, if you're being serious or you're just being.
I'm being
difficult.
literal.
Really?
In reality, it's 3D. Sure, if you were to play it on a piece of paper, right?
Oh, that's not what we're talking about.
So if you play chess on a computer screen, is it 2D or 3D?
I'd say that's 2D.
That's 2D chess?
Yeah, because you're not picking anything up, moving it over. If it's in reality, it's 3D. What are you laughing about? Is your depth perception that bad you don't know what 3D is? Is that why you have those glasses? Those 3D glasses?
So what is 3D chess?
The chess we play in reality. It's 3D.
So then what is the chessboard that I looked up on Google?
Which ones? Oh, this isn't part of the comment.
So what is that chess? This chess here.
Now you see, when I saw it on Big Bang Theory 5 years ago, it was called 4D chess.
It says 3D chess from Star Trek, and I'm pretty sure they called it 3D chess in Big Bang.
Well, good for them. But in reality, any chess that's played in real life is called 3D chess.
No, it's not.
Well,
it's not called 3D
chess.
It's just called chess.
But it's 3D.
So what is 3D chess then?
Every object in reality is 3D.
So everything should be. This is 3D round table, people.
Yes, 3D.
But they're watching it on a 2D plane. The actual image is 2D.
Sure.
It's not 3D at all.
No.
We're in 3D, but the video is 2D.
We are reaching levels of autism here.
I win!
No, you don't.
I don't!
You don't win. Reality is 3 dimensions.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because there are expressions of reality that are in 2 dimensions.
Let me rephrase. We can only perceive 3 dimensions and lower.
Oh, and lower. Okay, good.
Oh, you were waiting for me there, weren't you?
Oh, no. Technically not, because time is actually a 4th dimension.
Well, technically it's not.
Technically it is.
No, it's not.
Time is considered a 4th dimension.
That is actually P-brain level understanding of physics. It's not actually
It
a
is.
dimension. No, it's not.
We are 3 spatial dimensions and a 4th dimension of time.
It's not. It's not a
Without
dimension.
clarifying what the type of dimension is and just saying how many dimensions our universe is framed in, we are actually technically in 4 dimensions.
No,
because time is the 4th dimension.
Now, I'm not a physicist, but I have seen people break down the fact that saying that time is the 4th dimension, that's P-brain. It's not.
Oh, I could be wrong, because I don't claim to be a physicist or claim universal knowledge on things like, if chess is really 3D or 2D.
Is chess really 3D? Is this 3D? This thing I'm holding here?
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, there you go. If I was to say this was a queen and move it here and like, oh, look, I've just taken your queen.
Chess refers to a game and a set of rules and parameters, not just its physical appearance.
Didn't say
And the game chess is played along 2Ds. 2 dimensions. 2Ds.
These nuts got it! A dimension is just a direction. That's all it is.
That's a spatial dimension, Oz.
Who's physicist here? Neither of us? That's right.
Let's do one more. We're getting a little off track.
Drink your juice! Please. You're right.
Okay.
Oh.
What they need is the 10th Doctor to show up and explain the whole thing with a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
Now let's skip that one. I don't know Doctor Who.
Doctor Who can do time travel really well and really bad. That's the unfortunate thing.
Doesn't matter. It's a joke, Doctor Who. I mean, it's good, right? But like, its internal consistency is a joke.
No, the whole arc with River Song is done phenomenal. So the Silent Angels, like the use of time travel, absolutely brilliant. First Silent Angels episodes, they can do it great and they can do garbage.
I thought they were called
one
Weeping
more. Yeah, Weeping Angels. Sorry, Weeping Angels.
By the way, don't know if you all knew this, but most of the residents of Pompeii survived the eruption.
No, they didn't.
Source. I need a source.
Betcha that was awkward in the history books.
Well, I don't know if that's contrary to what the general understanding is, so I need a source to reframe my opinion.
You can't outrun pyroclastic flow. You can't. It eats you. It's a liquid
What if
oven.
you're really, really
Not even Usain Bolt could. It moves at like 60 miles an hour depending on the slope of the hill. You can't outrun pyroclastic flow.
No, what if you ran to the side?
No, because it comes out from the angle.
Probably,
Yeah.
One more. If Shad didn't make this video, he'd have been melted.
What's that? I keep seeing that. He's been melted.
I've now found out what that comes from.
What's it come from?
Mauler, the guys over on EFAP, actually did a reaction to episode 1, and they did a whole meme of we called it disintegrating, they called that melting, and so their whole meme was like, if you do anything against the Time Lord's thing, you would be melted, and so that's their meme now. It's a fun meme.
That's funny.
It's like,
I like that meme.
there we go. So this has been our discussion of your comments. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Have we triggered any more of our audience?
That was actually a lot more painful than I thought it would be.
It was great. If you do enjoy this content, enjoy us on game nights, please do support us on Patreon or Subscribestar. It'd be a big help. And until next time, I don't want to do the Shadowversity. We need like a game night.
Give us some sign-offs down in the comments below, please and thank you. What are some good sign-offs? Hey, we'll read it as a comment.
Oz is wrong because it triggers him the most.
I mean, I have to be right some of the time, just based on mathematics, like probability,
We know that.
science, quantum physics.
But
You see, if I just say random big words, I sound like
fun
Shaq.
to trigger you by saying you're wrong.
I can trigger you.
You can, not as easy as I can trigger you,
I
especially
know, I
in
can
an
do it
argument.
easier than you. I can do it easier. Matriculations suck.
See, I know it's
Do you hear him die inside? It's it's like a wounded baby now. it's like someone shot Bambi's mother right in front of him. He's like, oh! It's like the end of Toy Story 3 just then. He lived through it.
Oz, matriculations are a hole, you don't suck.
What?
You can't suck matriculations.
What are you talking about?
What outro is this?
Matriculations are a hole you don't suck?
You stick your head through them.
What the hell does that mean? Comments down below. Can someone translate that to English for me? Thank you. This guy. Maybe you shouldn't drink that. You've had enough sugar today.
Thanks, guys. We'll see
Thanks,
you later.
guys.